Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Wanted to do an updated video today for 2021, and this is a smart home tour, or smart home examples, what we're going to call the video. So I've done a few of these before, and it's been quite some time, and like anything else with YouTube, fresh content's always good, and I'm always doing something different to my home, and I just want to give you guys a little bit of a tour. Mainly just to inspire some people if they're looking to add some smart home tech to your home. This is going to be kind of a long video, so bear with me, as I am normally long-winded. A lot of the stuff, I just want to be clear, there's always going to be somebody complaining about something, right? And so when I do, if I title a video or, make a video and you have different expectations, just know this video, before you waste your time watching it, this isn't the ultimate smart home, although sometimes the title may say that. Compared to a lot of videos I've seen on YouTube, there's, my home has a lot of smart home tech. Now, I don't have, some of the more expensive, like the fridges and all that stuff. I have tech that I actually really use for the most part. Some devices I've, removed. And I'm just going to kind of give you guys really a nonchalant tour, just give you guys some ideas on what you might add to your home. A lot of the stuff that I have is, lighting and switches and stuff like that. And remember, a smart home is just kind of a word used to describe this tech, you know what I mean? A lot of people who are really into the smart home, we'll call them the I don't know what we'll call them, but some people are really just all about it. Like if your home doesn't meet their expectation of what they think a smart home is, then I'm wrong, So remember, I don't have a lot of macros set or any macros. Well, there's really not a lot of macros set where things are automated, right? And some people's idea of a smart home is that when you do things or walk around, certain things happen by themselves, hence the term smart. For me, smart home tech is really just controllable devices, the Internet of Things, and smart home is just kind of the word used to describe a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to give you guys a little tour, give you some ideas. If you see something you like, drop me a comment. I'm more than happy to help you out and give you some ideas. Really, this stuff is mainly just for cool factor. None of this stuff is really necessary, right? And as we do this video, I'm just going to be talking about some of the things to think about when you start a smart home and some of the problems you may encounter. So let's start. So I'm just going to kind of really nonchalant, I don't have a camera guy or anything like that. So I'm just going to walk you around and give you some ideas on some of the things that I've done. Really, a lot of the stuff that I have is lighting systems. Or lights really, and they're controlled by groups, and I use a lot of the assistants, mainly the Google Assistant, to control this stuff. And what I've said a lot of times before, if you're going to start to add a lot of stuff and you're new to maybe adding tech to your home, you'll want to really try to stick with one brand if you can. But because I've worked with a lot of different companies, I've got a lot of stuff sent to me. The problem with having a lot of different brands is sometimes they don't always use the same app. It's nice to access one app to control everything. So a lot of the stuff I have is through the Smart Life app. Smart Life's going to control a good percentage of the stuff you're going to find on Amazon. Once you start getting involved in more of the expensive brands like Philips, LifeX, that's their own app, and it's kind of proprietary to their own app for the most part, right? So in my office right here, let me move you guys around and give you guys just kind of an idea. And again, I hope the lighting is better than it has been in the past. I've tried to improve my lighting in my office by just adding more lights. I've done the umbrella lighting. Honestly, I just don't want to have this stuff out all the time. I like my place to look a certain way, and I just feel like with the umbrella lighting, it's just cluttered, right? So just bear with me, okay? If you have any problems, I'll help you out the best I can. So in this room, this is my office, of course, if you guys have seen before. There's not tons of tech in here. Basically, I have a desktop computer. We have, some things are hooked up to smart devices. So we have 6 different lamps, 2 on the desk, 2 on the fireplace, 2 against the room. These are all generic Amazon bulbs that work with Smart Life. So because Smart Life is compatible with the Google Assistant, when you set a group with the Assistant, these all work together. And I'm not going to demonstrate this stuff. You understand how on and off works. I don't think I need to do that. All these lights by one command can be controlled together. And that wouldn't really matter if this was maybe if this was a LifeX bulb and a Philips bulb, or a LifeX bulb and a Smart Life bulb. The Google Assistant will control all this together. The issue comes when you want to use your phone. When you want to use your phone, if you don't use the Google Assistant or the Amazon competitor, you'll have to control them individually. So what I try to do is group devices together. Then if I don't want to use my voice, and let's say I'm outside my network, I want to turn the lights on or off, I can still do that by going to the app and having a group set under the Smart Life app. So I have a group set for Office under Smart Life, and then of course I have the group set with the Google Assistant. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you want things to play well together and kind of mesh brands together so they all work as a unit, you'll need to use something like the Amazon Assistant or the Google Assistant. Other than that, I actually have on the wall here, this is just a standard older TV. I had an old school 42 plasma. I don't really watch TV in here. And as far as TV, I'm off the cable. Like, I don't have cable. I've had a cable for 15 years, 17 years, something like that. It's just a waste of money in my opinion, and you can stream a lot of stuff with Netflix. What I use on this TV, this is a great soundbar by Bestison. If you haven't checked my, actually I haven't done a review on that yet. This is a great soundbar, 70 bucks, built-in subwoofer. Again, remember, you're not going to get tons of audio out of something all contained like that, but way better than the TV speakers, and actually it's comparable to like a small smart speaker. So again, small inexpensive TV. My parents upgraded. I got rid of my 42. It was very old, and so this works for now. It's not state of the art. I believe in using things till the very end, so it works for me. It's not bad. It just sticks out a little further than some of the newer ones. But on the back of this TV I have it's not a Google Chromecast, but it is compatible with Google. It's an Amazon, a Walmart, I forget the brand of it, Smart Stick, or an Android box. It's awesome. I'll try not to get too long-winded on everything I have. If you have individual questions about this stuff, let me know. It was like 20 bucks. It's awesome. So other than that, in the room I have a couple smart speakers. Again, I have the Google Home on the Fireplace. This Fireplace is set up with a smart switch. I can use the voice command to turn this electric fireplace on or off. I don't have the heat on. Now it's just for ambiance, but I could turn that on with a switch on there. And I don't like using the heat on because by some chance something does malfunction and turn on, which it never has. I don't want this to be pumping out heat all day long, right, if I'm not here or something like that. So there are security cameras in this room we're not going to really touch on. In the shower over here, I basically have a smart switch on the wall right here, and this is a dimming switch. So this controls the kind of not torch race, but the wall fixture I have up here. And then of course I have a power failure bulb in just a standard switch on the wall. So two lights. We can turn this one on with your voice with Smart Life app. We can turn the overhead light on. And the cool thing about the overhead light is that if there's a power failure, this light will still continue to work for about 5 hours. So it'll actually work off the switch. Not every switch is going to work with these things. You just have to get the bulbs and test them. You turn it on or off. Right now it's on. It's charging the battery. If there was a power failure, it would turn off for a second. And then of course there would be some, it won't be as bright, less lumens, but you'll have some light in here to illuminate your path, right? What else do we have? Not too much else. And again, we're going to try to move fast here because I don't want this to be too long. Security cameras are all throughout the house, of course. Up here, we have a ceiling mounted chandelier, which, you know, pretty basic, but this is on a smart switch plugged in the attic. This, again, is voice compatible. Same thing with the lamp over here. There is an in-wall socket here. So these two lamps, the window light, and of course the chair lamp, can turn on or off with, when I say the word smart, just know that that means you can turn them on or off from inside or outside your network with the app, and of course with the assistant. Next to that, there is a pretty cool, kind of a glowing, it almost looks like a propane torch lamp that you go camping with. That's by Yeelight. Those have a built-in battery, so they're always on. You can control it with your Bluetooth. It's not Wi-Fi, but Bluetooth compatible. You can set groups, have two. You can change the brightness on two of them individually or together. I don't use them like that, but this is great. If the power does go out, this will kick into battery mode and still work. In my closet here, this is my shower. You can see the light, not shower. That's not a shower. That's a washer dryer. Up here we have some really low profile LED lights. I've done a video review on these. These are motion activated. They'll work for about, I think it's 90 days with normal use. Again, that's like a couple times, 3 times a day. I did a video reviewing this, and if I misspeak, forgive me. I don't really remember exactly how many times you can use it or turn it on or off throughout the day, but fantastic product. Great way to add a little bit of light. I have 2 of these in a couple of my safes. When you open them up, the lights come on. It's fantastic, and I haven't charged them since I got them. I've had them for over a month. So what else we got here? So something to think about too is if you are plugging things in my case, like this chandelier is not hardwired, it's just ran through the attic, plugged into an outlet I have up there, into a smart switch. Sometimes these things do need to be rebooted. They do have hiccups, right? Just like your cell phone. What I did is I used an old school X10 switch on the wall. And so what this allows me to do is I plug the smart switch into the X10 switch or socket and then into the power socket. What this allows me to do is to power cycle any smart home device I have in the attic with a radio frequency. So if something acts up, I need to reboot something, I can do that. And I forgot to mention in my office here, up in the ceiling, we have a Mount Genie mount, and that's a ceiling mounted or wall mounted Google Home Mini. So that's pretty cool there as well. Again, that's plugged into the same outlet. If I have to power cycle those, I can use the X10 switch. It's just a great way, again, so I don't have to crawl up into the attic and unplug things or kill my breaker, or kill the breaker. I can just do that right with this switch. So that's pretty cool. Again, something to think about. X10 is an old school technology. Nobody really even uses it anymore. But my video is still pretty popular on it if you want to check it out. But that was kind of like the first generation smart home tech. It actually sent the signal through the remote into a transceiver, which sent the signal through your home wiring and then to the devices that you have plugged in. Kind of finicky based on how your house is wired, but not as great and reliable as smart home tech that we have nowadays. But it's still a great way for me to be able to power cycle a couple devices without, again, having to crawl into the attic. So it's another I don't want to call it a fail-safe, but another convenience. I'm not going to get involved in my network closet. I've done a video on that before. Coming into my bedroom here, we have a place here right there. Let me turn this light on, see if this helps. Yeah, it's a little better. So in my bedroom, I'm not going to break down everything here, but we have another fireplace here, electric fireplace. I have flush mounted with another Mount Genie mount. Again, if you haven't checked out Mount Genie, they're awesome. We got the door. We have a Mount Genie, I'm not going to say her name, the Amazon Smart Home Assistant, flush mounted right into the fireplace. This is on a smart switch as well. And this is a nice way to add another smart home device or assistant into your home without having to be out in the open. And they don't look bad or anything like that, but I believe in kind of having a lot of tech, but having it kind of be there in the background. On top here is a Harman Kardon. This was Microsoft's answer to the smart home assistants. This was Cortana. It doesn't work anymore. They did a firmware update recently and completely canceled the whole Cortana program. So kind of annoying for people who actually did buy this, like myself, thinking you can use it as a smart home assistant. And now the firmware update just made it a Bluetooth speaker. So still cool. I have I always want to say her name, but the Amazon Assistant linked to this with Bluetooth. So now anytime I activate the smart home assistant by try not to say her name, it'll communicate all that information through the Harman Kardon speaker, which sounds a lot better than this little puck speaker they have in there. So that's pretty cool. Next to the bed, I'm not going to get too close to it, that's another Google Home Assistant alarm clock, which, it was super cheap. I bought it. Should I really need an alarm? I mean, I use my phone mainly for my alarm clock, so it doesn't really get used, but it looks cool. It's like a little photo frame. So, on this beautiful dresser, I just refinished. This is I know this isn't about the dresser, but I gotta mention it. I did a fantastic job on it. This is a French provincial dresser I got secondhand. Refinished it. Did I sprayed probably about 5 coats of primer, and then of course 3 coats of kind of a matte black finish. Turned out great. I absolutely love it. It's hard to find good furniture nowadays, and this is good quality furniture. Really kind of updated it, modernized it. But on top of that, I have a Jbl Google Assistant. This is basically your smart home assistant, voice activated, of course, just like the normal speakers, but a Jbl speaker, passive radiator on the back, sounds fantastic, and you get a nice big display. This is great. I use this often when I have my groups playing. So on another, I know it's going to be very long-winded, but when you set up all these different smart speakers, whether it be a Chromecast, whether it be Chromecast audio, whether it be a Google compatible assistant like this, you can set groups. So I have an upstairs group, I have a barbecue mode group, I have a downstairs group, I have a whole house group, where every one of these speakers will play the same track at the same time, whether using your voice or casting from your phone. So this is great. Sometimes I want to just listen to music upstairs when I'm getting ready or hanging out. I could have this JBL on, that alarm clock on. I could have the ceiling mounted Google Mini, and then of course I have the Google Home in the office. That is battery powered. You have a battery base for that. I can move that around to the shower, bathroom, whatever I'm doing, and that brings audio through the whole upstairs. And I can do that downstairs, which I'll show you in a second, as far as the speakers I have. And then of course there is a 5.1 Dolby digital system in this room and a Vizio soundbar. Also, just to be noted, those little chandelier lamps have, oops, let me turn that a little, have smart bulbs in here by Nui, and you can see they just turned on, nothing I did. It's that time of day where I have these turned on. These are RGB. Next to these I have some, I love audio, it's overkill, I know, I got a lot of audio throughout the house. These are two Bluetooth capable stereo Abramtech speakers with built-in subwoofers. These are by far the best Bluetooth speakers that I have found to date. They bang. I mean, they're fantastic. Price point's pretty good. I forget what it is offhand. I got a video on it. Again, I'll if you have any questions, let me know. I'll get you a link. But these are hooked up to a Google Chromecast audio, so that's another speaker that is part of the group. I can listen to all this stuff individually. They sound fantastic. They have the best bass output of any Bluetooth speaker I've found. And they have built-in batteries. I don't use them like that, but you can move them around. You can use them individually as a left-to-right, full stereo speaker. I have them set up in stereo mode, so each one left and right, they send that signal automatically. They're great. I mean, they're fantastic. So, unfortunately, Chromecast audio is something that's been discontinued. I can't imagine why. Luckily, I have two of them, and so that allows you to plug. It's basically just like the Chromecast, but it's just for audio. So it's great because you can basically make any stereo you want with an input, whether it be optical or with a 3.5 millimeter jack. You can make any speaker a smart home speaker, castable speaker. So I used to have it hooked up to the bigger systems, but when I got these from Abramtech, I hooked it up to that. Fantastic, guys. And I know I'm kind of hopefully moving kind of quick here. Hope you think I'm moving kind of quick. On the wall, just a 55-inch Vizio. It's the biggest I could fit on that wall. It's actually a little too big for the wall, but it works. In wall, 5.1 system throughout the room. Subwoofer. After I got this new bed, I kind of moved things around. I do have to get a flat panel subwoofer, but there is a Vizio soundbar mounted above the TV, which kind of blends in with a flush-mounted subwoofer under the bed. Honestly, I haven't watched a movie in here in quite some time, but when I do, and I will again, it's fantastic. It's awesome. So, but the 5.1 system is what I mainly use in here. I do have to get a flat subwoofer. Again, the other subwoofer I had was in the corner. I didn't want to see it anymore. I like to hide that stuff. I changed up the chair, and it doesn't fit behind the chair anymore. So Amazon has a really inexpensive, powered, flush-mounted, not flush-mounted, but it's a low-profile, slim sub. Again, in a bedroom, I'm not looking to really shake the walls. It's only an 8, more than enough for me. If you're really looking to, rattle your windows, it's probably not going to work for you. In my case, if it was a problem, I would just build something, but build my own, low-profile sub. But for me, I don't want to go through the work. It's not a big deal. I'm going to be happy with it. Coming into the vanity area here. So naturally, this is just a standard set of LED bulbs, and this is hooked up to a Z-Wave switch right on the wall here. Z-Wave is another type of technology, kind of like it's a radio signal of some sort. But in order for that to work, though, Z-Wave is communicated with the hub. So I have a Samsung SmartThings hub that's Z-Wave compatible. I wouldn't have got it nowadays. The price has come down so much that you could just go Wi-Fi, but I have the switch. It wasn't cheap. It was like a $50 switch. And again, that was before all this smart home tech got really cheap. And so basically what happens is when you control these Z-Wave devices, the signal goes from your phone. Let's say you're using that, or the assistant goes through your phone, or let's say the assistant. You give the command, it goes through the assistant, goes through the internet, through your network, and then of course that signal goes to the Samsung SmartThings hub, which sends a Z-Wave radio signal out to the switch. Cool thing about Z-Wave is that it gets more stuff off your network. And remember, I have over 100 devices connected all the time, so that's eating up bandwidth, it's eating up airtime. There are problems with that. You know, when you start getting that many devices and cameras, my internet connection is not super fast. It's the most I can get where I'm at, but it works. So 60 megs, believe it or not, it's got a few hiccups, but not bad. One thing you'll have to do is if you have a if you have internet, which you probably do, and you want to get smart home tech, honestly, you'll want to upgrade your access point and your router. I went with an Asus 3200 top of the line router. Unfortunately, even with all that money spent on it, it tops out at like 30 devices. So if you're going to get smart home tech, I don't know what else is out there nowadays. I highly recommend you look into Ubiquiti. It's not the most user-friendly thing if you're not tech savvy, if you're not network savvy. There might be a learning curve there. I'll tell you that it's not for the average user to set up, but their customer service is great. And it's not, if you've gotten into your router settings before and messed around and are familiar with that stuff, you should be okay setting it up. So basically I have an Asus router, AC3200, that basically handles my routing. I have the Wi-Fi turned off. I have my internet modem, my router, and of course I have 3 access points. So I have an outdoor access point, 2 Ubiquiti indoor access points, which are ceiling mounted, and those devices, you can connect a lot more devices. So I have lots of headroom. I can get more devices. Again, when I first started doing this, my normal router I had from the internet company topped out at 20 devices. I know theoretical maximum is 256. You'll never get that out of residential grade gear, not in a million years. So again, I don't know exactly what's out there. I don't know how good mesh networks are. I'm not familiar with everything out there, but I can tell you of the things I've tested in my own home network, Ubiquiti is the only access point or internet gear I would ever go with in the future. It's incredible. So look into it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm not going to show you the master bath there. It's just a jet tub. I don't have any. I do have an electric fireplace in here, which is not hooked up yet. This will be hooked up to voice control eventually, but I have to put in a GFCI plug here. Anything around water needs to be GFCI protected. I do have one smart bulb up in the fixture up there and a power failure bulb. So what's cool about this stuff is not only do you have the control to turn it on or off from inside or outside your network, but you have the ability just to set that cool mood lighting, Oh, for any of you who are wondering, the blue, of course, LED strips in the artwork. It's kind of a clear framed artwork. I mounted LED strips in there, and of course around the headboard. You change the color, voice control, all that stuff. So let's go downstairs. Now some of the fixtures, like the ceiling mounted fixtures here, these are all LifeX bulbs. I have LifeX upstairs, downstairs, bedroom lamps, and of course kitchen dinette, that kind of stuff. I know it's getting a little dark here, guys, but so going up the stairs, we have some, again, LED strip. You can change the color and all that stuff. These are not Wi-Fi enabled. I didn't use a Wi-Fi controller. I just used an infrared because mainly I just always have it on blue. If it's something I want to change up eventually, and I may, because unfortunately some of this less expensive Chinese infrared stuff, the remote controls, the signals are kind of similar on those infrared codes. So like if I turn the volume up on the TV, it'll change the color of the stairs, I think, to aqua. So if I change it up to Wi-Fi enabled device, you won't have the infrared sensor. If it's a real concern, I could just cover up the infrared sensor, but it doesn't bother me, One thing I have on the wall here, this is a Equus Wi-Fi peephole, basically. So you have a screen. I wish I could show you, but this is one of those devices that has finally failed. I can't get it to charge. I think the battery just was dead for too long. But normally you would have it acts as a peephole with the camera. Smart home deadbolt, of course, which is Z-Wave enabled. LifeX bulbs in the ceiling cans down here. Move you over here. I don't think right now the lighting doesn't look too bad, but I do apologize, guys. I don't want to turn on every light in the house. So, LED strip mounted behind the 70-inch TV. We have a Dolby Atmos Vizio soundbar, courtesy of Vizio. Thank you, Vizio. They sent me that to review. It's been fantastic. What else we got here? We have a Starry Night projector mounted underneath the end table there. I have two 8-inch subwoofers by Acoustic Research for this system. Let me just move you guys so you can see what I've done here. Again, not tons of smart home tech. You know, you could set these things to do macros and all that stuff, but for me, I'm not really concerned with all that. I just really want the ability to turn them on or off and, turn them on or off and control them from inside or outside the network, and then get the cool mood lighting. Just to give you an example, I'm going to use the my Google Voice now, or the Google Code. So if you do have a Google Assistant, go ahead and mute this for a second there. Just know I'm going to say this here. I'll give you about 2 seconds, just so we have a little bit more lighting. All right, ready? All right. Hey Google, turn on the living room lights. All right, so we got 3 lights that came on, ceiling mounted, 3 different LifeX bulbs. What else? There's track lighting that's hooked up to an in-wall Wi-Fi switch that I can add to that group. I have this set as a living room group. What I didn't want is be able to turn on the living room and then turn on the track lighting, because I never really used the track lighting. So I have that on not part of the group. So otherwise you can add that. It would come on, but I don't have it set up that way. Again, TV over here, and then we have this built-in in-wall cabinet. Security cameras mounted up near the curtains. Again, just inspiration ideas. Wires are never pretty to look at. If you have curtains, and gentlemen, come on. I don't care where you're living, home, apartment, condo, house, mansion, make sure you put curtains. Don't put sheets on the windows. Go get some inexpensive curtains, all right? So, but that's a great way to hide your wires. So, curtains and windows are a great area to mount security cameras. A lot of times when you're figuring out where to put this so it doesn't look stupid and look messy and look professionally done, curtains will hide that wire stapled to the wall. So, another great way to do that. Flat panel Acoustic Research speakers. You have a left, right, and then middle. These are discontinued. These are amazing sounding. Separate subwoofer. I got away from the whole big speaker thing because I just want the room to look cozy, warm, classy. I don't want to see big giant speakers anywhere. Ladies, I'm sure the women out there can attest to that. You know, big speakers are very, I mean, they're cool. They're masculine, but. Not saying women can't have big speakers. I'm just saying that, to me, I used to have a big pair of Acoustic Research speakers, and this is not a gigantic room. I just don't want to see them. They take up space. They're huge. So this is a great way to be able to add great sounding audio to your room. Again, unfortunately, these are discontinued. I can't imagine why they don't make them anymore, but very hard to find on-wall speakers. Not in-wall, on-wall. These are great. Again, I have 2 subwoofers in the corner, Acoustic Research. They're part of the matching set. I bought 2 of these sets. They did come with 2 of the larger speakers and then 3 of the shorter ones. They're the exact same speakers. They should have just made all of them the same, but they are a little bit shorter. There's no difference at all in sound. So, but for the aesthetics, I wanted them to match. I took one of the longer speakers from the other set and just added 3 there on the front. This room, without having to knock out sheet wall or do anything like that, I opted to not put in rear surrounds, but I do have mounted underneath the couch a couple rears that fire back. They give a little bit of a rear echo if you're, watching a movie or music on this TV. You might be wondering, why do you have 2 TVs? This is a 48, and then all my audio components. This was my original TV, and then at one point I always wanted to get a bigger TV, and there's really nothing you can do. 48 is the biggest you can put inside that cabinet. So at that point, I just said, I'm going to leave it there. I'll use it for like music because we have the better system over on this TV. And then for movies, we watch the 70-inch Vizio. So, kind of cool too. You can set it up where, again, set it up as a group so you have the same audio playing. The only thing you can't do with it, like gentlemen, if you're having a game on or whatever, you can't set it up to have it cast the exact same signal. You could have both TVs casting Netflix at the same time. If it was a live stream, it would be the same, but if you want to play something at the same time, each TV has to do it individually. So, but still pretty cool. I never really use that feature. It's really just for cool factor. Fireplace is a gas in-wall fireplace. Again, that's not on anything smart. I don't want to mess with that. I don't want something to fail. A light staying on, not a problem. Fireplace on, it's going to heat up the whole house, waste energy. I don't want to do that. So I left that alone. on this wall, of course, and I'm probably missing some things, but on this is, again, just to give you guys some inspiration. On this side here, this was an old closet I converted to a dry bar. I ripped out the doors and basically got the glass, put it in a cabinet. You know, these are overhead kitchen cabinets. I need something shallow. I don't want to get too involved in that, but you have 2 smart light bulbs up there. And then these 2 lights are painting lights. These are candelabra Wi-Fi bulbs. You change the color, on, off, all that stuff. So, and the wires ran inside the wall. Up on top here, I've used a Mount Genie flush mount for the Amazon Assistant and a Nui camera. And if we move... So behind the love seat here, I used to have kind of a like sofa table. I opted for a bar table. So what I did is this came quite a bit higher. I just hacked it down a little bit, changed the way the brackets are, got some stools, add some LED lights underneath it. And now, you know, because it's not a huge room, if I'm entertaining, there's a few more seats back here. People can eat, drink, whatever. Not going to show you the bathroom. Not going to show you the closet. Wi-Fi thermostat was mounted over here. I relocated to the side so I could add the mirror. And that's great. So if you're away, you want to turn up the heat before you get home, warm up the house, set that to turn on different times of day. You can set it to come on within radius. So if your cell phone's set up with this device, and this one's by Honeywell. So once you hit a certain distance from your house, you can set it on their map. At that distance, it'll consider you being home and it'll turn on the heat. So or set the heat to a certain temperature. So let's say I'm at, I'm out and about. Maybe I'm starting my work day or whatever. Set the house to maybe like 63. On my way home, it'll know that, hey, I'm about 2 miles, 5 miles. You set the radius. This is when we want to start warming up the house. It'll bring it up to whatever temperature you set. So pretty awesome. In the kitchen here, not a ton of smart home tech. Again, down here we have, just so I don't forget here, as far as audio, in-wall or on-wall acoustic research speakers, chemical receiver. That TV is hooked up to a Google Chromecast, so now it is smart. TV, Chromecast, Vizio soundbar. So these can be set as a group. You can have all those on at the same time. In addition to that, we have the Amazon Assistant, which is synced to a soundbar that a company sent me. I didn't know what to do with it, so I mounted it to this wine bar here. I'm going to show you guys here. So soundbar is mounted right here under the glass. Subwoofer is hidden underneath the wine bar, and so the Amazon Assistant connects to that. So I don't have to use that in-wall speaker because it's not very loud. It doesn't, it works, but it's not good for audio. This gives you some nice sound coming out of the wine bar. Security cameras all over the place. What else? Google Home, of course. This is on a battery pack, so I can move that around if I'm going to go out back, bring music with me. Great. Again, we have some track lighting. This is on a smart switch on that wall. Underneath the cabinets here are the same lights I showed you upstairs near the washer dryer. Motion sensor lights. Got them underneath the cabinets. You walk up, you got a little lighting. What else? No smart fridge, none of that. I have an in-wall smart switch there on a coffee maker. You could, do an old school coffee maker and turn that on or off in the morning. Set it to come on at a certain time. Dinette has LifeX bulb and just a flat panel, laptop tablet I mounted on the wall there. It's not connected to Wi-Fi at the moment. Time's totally off. Smart lamp here for a smart bulb and security cameras. That's really about it. Now I want to take you guys. It's kind of crummy out, but I don't really want it. So outside, I'm not going to take you outside today, but same thing in the garage. It's way too dark for you to see. Honestly, I don't want to go outside because, talking to yourself, I don't want my neighbors to, they're like, what is he doing? So I'm a little shy about making these videos in front of people. So, but outside, hot tub, string lights all over the place. I can at least show you out the door here. A couple ponds, small ponds, little water features. So, and again, I've done videos on all this stuff before. Hot tub, all these lights, outdoor lights on smart switches are all on timers. You can turn them on or off individually. Got that pole I put in out there with a bunch of lights on. These are all plugged into outdoor smart sockets. Again, as a group, you can turn on all these different lights, string lights, fence lights, all at the same time. And again, near the hot tub, and I know I've done a video on this. It's a TV shield. It's an outdoor TV enclosure, all Wi-Fi and smart enabled. that allows me to get in the hot tub and put on whatever audio I want. And I have some external speakers mounted underneath the overhang as well. So what's cool about that is I recently upgraded the Chromecast. And if you have an older Chromecast, I encourage you to upgrade it if you want to go ahead and do music in different rooms and have those groups. The older ones will not, so I had to upgrade that. So what I can do now is, like, let's say I'm going to have a little barbecue, we're going to be out back socializing, garage doors open, people are kind of moving around. I can have the same audio playing on all these speakers, Google Home, both TVs if I want, or one TV, outside on the hot tub TV, same audio. So pretty cool. Me and my buddy came over one day, we were out there barbecuing, we did a crab boil. Having the same audio playing throughout the house was awesome. Same thing in the garage, TV, smart home tech, and I'm not going to show you guys all that. Smart Wi-Fi garage door opener, so you can actually control your door using I kind of forget on voice. Some of the devices, I saw a commercial today for internet, and they were like, oh, well, you know, they were showing you how you can lock and unlock your door. It really depends. I don't know. The lock that they showed, I think it was for an Xfinity commercial, they showed you giving the voice command to unlock your door. I don't think Google is compatible with smart locks to do that. And the reason is they don't want somebody just to be able to say the command key or say the wake word and unlock your house. Now, the Amazon Assistant allows you to do that with certain brands, but it asks for a security key. So you'll have to verbally give that security key to unlock or lock the door. Garage door, I don't think any of them are compatible with smart garage door openers, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. They might have changed something. And the reason they don't want that, they don't want to be liable if, let's say, your smart speaker somehow messes up or does something where it opens and closes your garage door. Maybe close it and somebody gets hurt. So you'll find some of the companies, some of the smart speakers, and some, depending on the companies, aren't always compatible with having that command. Again, with my experience, the only one I found is that Amazon seems to be more compatible with devices like Deadbolts, but it will ask you for the security key. So it's not just going to be like, hey, open that door. It's going to say, what's your security key? You'll give them the four or 6 digit number, and it'll lock or unlock your door. So pretty cool. But with the garage door opener, I know you can, and that's by MyQ. I think it's MyQ. I forget who actually makes it. Chamberlain. With that, it'll tell you, you can ask the speaker if the garage is open or not. It'll give you the status, but unless they've updated something, you can't use your voice to close the garage door. So, and that might change. I don't know. Maybe, you know, the legal department will figure something out. But out front, I have a little water feature. Again, solar lights. Nothing really too crazy there. But you can see that. How are we at here? 37 minutes, long video. So you can see, like, this is just some of the ideas I want to give you guys if you're looking to add smart home tech to your home. Again, remember that if you are going to add this stuff, you'll want to upgrade your router. A few bulbs aren't going to, or your access points. A few smart switches aren't going to bother you, but keep in mind, or bother the system. But keep in mind, remember when you're think about like your household. I mean, I'm like a single guy living here. You know, we have phones, we have tablets, we have laptops, we have, you know, it very quickly can you add up the devices, and very quickly are you going to get close to 100, especially if you're like a family of 4. Kids all have cell phones for the most part, smart TVs, Xboxes, all this stuff really puts a strain on your network, and you really want to beef that up. Now, I don't know the maximum amount of devices you could put on like an Xfinity router, like your X1 I think it's called. I don't know, I haven't tested that, but to me, it's just easier to upgrade your gear, especially if you're building a house, new construction. One of my old coworkers was building a house, and he, you know, I gave him my input. I said, go overkill on everything. Run more hard lines. You know, put boxes in your eaves. You know, sockets, electrical outlets. Put all the stuff you might need in case you want to add one of these devices. Remember, hardwiring is always going to be better. Not all devices can be hardwiring. You know, your smart boxes. Your stream boxes, a lot of them, like the NVIDIA Shield's what I use on most of the TVs. Your Chromecast, you know, they're going to be Wi-Fi, of course, but just kind of keep that in mind. You know, if you are building a home, look into, even if you have to, you know, hire somebody to come over and set up a proper Ubiquiti system, you'll be a lot happier with your network. So if that's better, guys, thank you for sticking with me if you did. I know it's pretty, hey, I warned you it was going to be long-winded. So again, I want to do an updated video for fresh content to give you guys some inspiration if you want to add some of this stuff to your home. To be honest with you, I joke a lot of times in videos because you know, they call it smart home tech, and as great as it is, there is a little bit of you know, an annoyance to it sometimes. You know, if the power goes out, some devices don't stay within state mode, or they keep the same state. So some of the lights that I have will actually default to staying on. So you got to go around, turn things off again. You know, there are pros and cons. You know, you can set it up whereas, like, let's say you open your smart garage door opener, you could set things up where a macro will happen where it'll turn on the garage lights. What I find is I'm just all over the place, so I don't want to, you know, be... Sometimes I just want the ambiance of having, like, a nice dimly lit room, right? And so I don't want this setup where it's like, come home, the lights turn on, right? I just don't want that because I may not want the lights on, so then you got to turn them off. So again, that maybe you want that. Maybe there's a situation that you want that. One thing I didn't mention, which is a lot of people don't know about with this stuff, some of the devices, some of the switches will actually communicate together. And I wish I could tell you which ones do or don't. I kind of get this stuff, install it, and then find out once it's installed. I have 2 switches in the garage for 2 different ceiling lights. In order to turn on the backlight, you have to go and press the switch. With the 2 switches I have in there, you could set up not just a group, but a multiple unit control setup. So basically, whenever I turn on one light, it turns on the other light. Same thing with this front, this rear external light that I have here, the door light. I know that anytime that light's on, I want the front door light on and vice versa. So that's set up where if I press that button right here, it automatically sends a signal to the other switch to turn on that light. So pretty cool that they have that technology with certain companies, and I forget which one. Yeah, and they're not. Of course, they're not labeled. I'm not sure which one it is. And some of them, and the other confusing thing, sometimes these will work with wall sockets too. So again, if it's something you really need to know, I'll try to find out by going into my app to figure out which ones are compatible and try to give you a couple names. But pretty cool feature, you know. You want to have, you know, let's say you want to have, like for instance, I could have this light also turn on the string lights if I want to, you know, which is pretty cool because they're on totally different plugs. They're not linked together at all, but it'll link things almost like a two-way switch, you know. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, guys, if I can help in any way, let me know. Drop me a comment, drop an email. I do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video. Again, if it's a little scattered, this is unscripted. I'm just kind of going with what I see when I'm walking around here. Remember, these videos are only to help you guys out and to share some of the things that I've done and maybe give you guys some inspiration. I know before I was getting involved in this stuff, I always look on YouTube and find you know, we can get inspiration from different people and different things. So anything I do to help to make your home your own home and make it, you know, personalize it, it's always fun for me. So anyway, guys, have a great evening, have a good weekend, and take care.